All right, so let's go and do the slow change dimension. So why we need the slow change dimension, just like we looked in procurement here today in this unit. So we want a slow change dimension is used to keep a track of historical data. And what that means? Well, when you have a business and a business application like procuring, for example, you might have, this is very common technology, products change over time. The action technology that change very fast. For example, a model of a phone, employees changing departments, they hire, they let it go. And so in your database, you need to, in your data warehouse, you need to find a way to keep track of these changes. So that's what we're going to do today with the SSIS integration service with Visual Studio. Okay, let's go and open this. So the handout is very self-explanatory, but it's always good to watch the video. Some people they're good with the handout, but you know, everybody's different. All right. So I open Visual Studio without code. I'm going to create a new project. The type of project is integration. We're still in integration. And we're going to use the integration project, service project. I'm going to call this C, SCD, slow change dimension, Dim employee. You can call it procurement, make sure that you create, make sure that you know where the location of your file is and create a project. Let's go give a minute. All right. So here is my window. I have two. Okay. So before anything, I'm going to change the name of my package to DimEmployee and employee underscore CSCD for the slow change dimension. All right, so I changed the name of my package. Good. I'm going to close all of this here and I'll explain why so it doesn't get good. So we're going to use a task, a container, a data flow task here to actually connect to our server, connect to our DW, a repository, and connect to the table, to the employee, because we want to keep a track of what happens to the employee. I'm sure the employees get promoted, they get raises, they get more vacation days, they get dismissed. That is all these things that happens to employee. So I'm grabbing a data flow task, and actually, guys, is SCD employee. You don't have to change it, but I'm kind of make sure that you understand what we. So we drag this. There is two ways that you can access this. You can double click, or on the top just go to the data. All right. I'm going to double click because that's what I do in all my videos. Click. Here we're going to need a source assistant. The source assistant allows us to connect to the repository, to the data warehouse, and to the Dim employee, the table that holds the information, the qualities, the attributes for the employee. And then we are going to add a variable. I'll explain when we get there, and then I slow change them. So the first thing that we need to do for every single project that we have done, we do have to connect to the server and to the data warehouse. I'm going to make sure that here in the bottom, I'm connected to my local host. If you're working in an environment in your school or your work, they'll give you the name of the server that you're using. In our case, we're using our own computers. I'm not going to look for my server. It takes a few minutes, so I actually copy my server here, and I'm going to paste this here. And this will allow me to connect to the repositories. I'm using this sample from Microsoft AdventureWorks DW. 2019. Maybe if you're using 2022. Good. Okay, I connected. Okay, so you can see here in the bottom that I have my connection manager. I have my connections to the DW. All right. So before I move forward, I want to make sure that I connected to the table that I wanted to. So I just double click my data source. I know you guys know this already. And I'm going to connect to my DimEmployee because that's what I want to. I can even look at the columns. Here is perfect. So that's what I wanted to track changes for employees. Perfect. Before I move forward, what I need to do is, yeah, okay, give me a second. We're going to add a variable. I just want to explain. All right. So, okay, we connected to the table, but we need to add a variable. And what is like we have done before in the track that we added a script and a variable, and that variable what we're doing count. Now we're going to add a variable in which one it tracks the date and time because what we want to know is when the change happened, the day and the time the change happened. So when the employee got a raise, when the employees changed departments, when the employees took vacation. So you need to add a system, a tracking, some kind of thing that keeps a track of the employee whenever change happen, the day and time that changes happen. So we need to add a variable. To add a variable is very easy. You right click in the empty space. Here is a variable. You're going to get this window. In order to add a variable, you just hover over the first block here that says add variable. The variable name is, I think is employee or just current time. Current date time. That's the name, no spaces. For the data type here, so you see the scope is the name of the box, the package, DimEmployee. Let me open a little bit so you can see. The data type here obviously is a daytime. So let's go look for daytime. Okay, and when you click on the value, it will bring a default date and time. So that's what we need. We need to track the date and the time that whatever changes happen to employee will be tracked. So I'm going to go and close. To close it, you don't need to do any control save or anything. You just go to the X here and close your variable. Perfect. Okay, so I added the connection to my server. I added the connection to the data warehouse. I added the table DimEmployee. I added a variable that's going to trap the changes, the date and time where changes happen to the employee. Now I need to add a slow change dimension. So this functionality will keep a track whenever something happens in the database to the employee. You're changing data for that, you're updating the employee, it'll keep a track then when that happens. So why I close everything? So let's imagine that you have everything open. You can see there is so many options here. So it might be very hard for you to get the correct one. So the best thing is close everything. And in your handout, it says, well, actually, we're using the comment. The slow change dimension is in the comment. This, hold on. So we are going to go to comments here. I open it. And if you go to the bottom, you have slow change dimension. I'm going to grab it to the screen. Perfect. You can change the slow change dimension to DimEmployees slow change dimension. Remember that is the most that you have. You should name them because it makes clear that this is not for the product, it's for the uh, employee. So I'm going to connect with the blue arrow, my table, to the slow change dimension. And now I'm going to double click my slow change dimension to tell my system, my repository, my database, my information, which one you should track and which one you don't need to track because it's not gonna change ever. So I'm gonna double click my slow change dimension. I'm gonna get a wizard, a window open. I'm gonna click next. Here, I want to make sure that I'm connected to my server. I'm connecting to my DW. I don't have to click new. But here, I'm going to select which table I'm working with. It's actually the DimEmployee. Okay. Now, I cannot open this module. I'm going to have to scroll. What we need to select is give this table a business key, a key to keep a track of it, like a base, a surrogate key. If you one second. So add a business key if you want, and I'm going to select here employee. I think I have an employee. The is the parent or the regular? No, is the employee. So let's go look for employee vacation. Parent, parent, okay. So we're going to use this employee national ID alternative key. See, we're going to select the business key because this key will allow you to keep a track of that employee. So we're going to add another key to that employee so we can keep a track on whenever the changes are made. So employee national ID alternative key, it will be our business key. Next, here we're going to add the columns that we want to keep a track to. Some of them we want to keep a track because they are changing dimensions, right? And some of them are not. So let's go and add the first one. So the first ones that are going to add is the birthday date, and this is going to be, as you can see here. Oh, I can open it. A fixed attribute because you don't change birthday, right? You just born at that date. You cannot change it by any means. That's the date that you. The higher date, you cannot change the higher date, so that's fixed. So let's go look for each higher date. They are in alphabetic order, so be easy for you to change. The next one is current flag, and this is a changing attribute. Okay, so now we're going from the fixed to changing. Email address is also a changing attribute because you might change your address, your email address. First name is something that you can change to. Changing attribute of first name, gender, changing attribute, another one, gender, last name, changing attributes. So I'm defining what is fixed, what is changed, and what is historical. Middle name, last name, login. Login ID is something that you might change very often, actually. Marital status, you can marry, get divorced. So for middle name, changing attribute. Next one is phone. Have phone. P phone. Changing attribute. The next one is sick leave days. Leave hours. Sick leave hours. So the hours that you allow, maybe now you allow more, you allow less. Your title also can be changed because if you move from departments, your title might change. So it's changing table. So we're keeping a track on everything that might and vacation hours because vacation hours can be changed. You might get more vacation time, you know, hopefully not less. Now let's go move to historical value. So parent employee alternative key. That's historical attribute. Then we have salary flags, flagged, historical, and the last one is sales territory key. key is stored. Okay, that ones don't change. Okay, so I selected pretty much what I wanted to keep a tracking. For example, email, first name, phone number, and so forth. Uh, Fixed attributes, they're never going to change, and historical attributes. I'm going to go next. Here, I'm going to select change, deselect fixed attributes, change the matching records, and in here, we're going to select start and end dates because we want to know the start date and the end date for that changes. And here, very important, there is an arrow here that's missing. And even if you open, you're not going to see it. So that you cannot type it. It will not work. Use the down arrow to get to the, I think it's system. One second. Is what next one? User current date time, because that's the variable. So you need to look for the variable name here. That's what we selected, the current date time. That's how we call it. Gonna go next. Give me a second. Next, and I think we're good. Next, and then finish. All right. So here you're going to see all of your uh, slow change dimension, build, but we need to deploy to see in the database what did we change, what we did not change. So I'm going to go to my package here. So we build it. Now we need to deploy. You're going to right click, execute package. If everything is working, I'll be green arrows like always. So everything here on my package and my build was successful. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go to my database. I'm going to go to open my database. I'm going to go to my AdventureWorks DW here. I'm going to open a new query window, and I'm going to I'll paste this query together with the video. So I actually going to write select all for customers, just looking at the table. Okay. But now I need to identify which, for example, I want to identify for employee 46 what happened. So for the key 46 what happened. So I'm not going to look at all of them. You can try other ones, but let's go try this parent key 46 and see if there is any changes. Let's see if there is any changes. Let's go identify if it is any change. So for 46, for the parent key 46, I see that I have a changes to William Wong here. You see, I know that the changes is in there because it's the same national alternative key here, right? He was employee 99 and in 98, and now he is employee 99. And let's see what changes. Date higher, same, uh, is the same. Vacations are same. Okay, so I don't know if you can see here. So he is in the same department, production control. However, he is started new in production control in he changed. So he moved. He has a new position here in the department control because he has a new start date and he is quarantined working, and he's not working anymore. Here in the bottom, you see that status null. So he is starting and he finished in he started in 2008 and finished in 2011, which one he was promoted because now he's has a starting date 2011 and is still ongoing. See, and date is null because he's still on that department. He still have the same vacation hours, the same sick days is 42, 42, vacation hours 41, vacation sick leave 2, contact is same. The higher days the same because it's the same scheduling system. He's still with the same um, title, but he just started a new position. All right, here in the same department, he has the same title, but it is changes here. The starting date of the new position here. All right, so now that you have done that, I want you to find changes for another employee, for another parent employee key. So let's see here. Execute parent employee key. So just pick anything here, 40 maybe, and find or 23. Find changes in your data, and let me know what you find. Okay, so great.